Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Okay. Hello. Welcome to the broadcast. January 4th, 2025. We're live, 7 p.m. Pacific. My cat is here. Wait, where'd my cat go? He was right there on the. I was just gonna show you my cat. Dingo, Chevy. Come here, Chevy. Chevy. Stupid cat. I think I scared him with my intro. Hey, Chevy. Chevy. I'm not kidding. He was here for 5 or 6 hours, and then I go live, and he leaves the chair. What a sweet cat. What a chevron. Come on, you don't want to stay on the chair for just a little bit? Maybe I'll sit there for a little while. Nope, he's gone. All right, I'm letting him out. All right, Chevy. Get out. You guys scared him off. It wasn't me. It's just interesting because there wasn't any chat moving when I was working, and he was there fine, and then I put the chat up, and then he's gone. Just interesting. Very fucking interesting. Fuck my Chungus life. What, do you have a chair right there? It's a reading chair. I sit there and I read, and the cat jumps in my lap, and it's awesome. Captain Lightskin, welcome to your first stream. Wait. This is your first stream ever? I'm checking your chat history. He's not lying. He's not lying. This is his first chat ever. Wow. Welcome. Following since 2 minutes ago. Holy moly. You're in for a treat. You're in for a hoot. The interactivity is the most incredible part. You can say the word glizzy, I can read it out loud in an incredulous voice, and then everyone will praise you. It's one of the brilliant things of this chat. You say glizzy, I go, oh God. Oh, really? Glizzy? And then everyone plus twos you. It's like it's a fucking genius comedy factory with the most brilliant minds in all of the internet. Thank you for the gifty Rickle and Pickle. Thank you for the Zach Brannigan for the 27 months. Blecker, thank you for the 11. Schwump, thank you for the 17. Today is Targeting Tuesday. Let me get the timer on screen. Timer. The non-cosmetic timer is going up right now. Marketing Monday starts in 30 minutes. The non-cosmetic timer is going up, and it will be accurate as always. Cannot wait to jump right in at the end of this timer. How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday? Just like the tariffs. Yeah. It'll start right on time, just like the tariffs. Just like my man Donnie T. My goodness. Knicks won, so I'm great. Oh, there you go. My GME puts, don't buy puts, bro. I went hog wild on payday last week, and I bought $200 worth of books. One of the books I chose is House of Huawei by Eva Doe. Have you read this? I haven't. House of Huawei? Sounds interesting. Sounds like it's got some interesting China stories in there. I love reading about interesting China stories, but I haven't read it. It's interesting to buy $200 worth of books. Right? Wouldn't you just buy one of the books and then read it and then decide if you want to buy more? Especially if you're online, are you going to buy $200 worth of books at once? Or why don't you spend $5 on a book and $195 gambling, and then you'll have $400 for books? I just feel like there's a lot of other ways you could have performed this. Hey, Atrioc, would you ever consider being an NOC asset for the MSS? I have no idea what either of these things are. What is an NOC asset? What is the MSS? MSS. The Ministry of State Security in China? No, I wouldn't consider it. Okay? I wouldn't consider it. But, you know, when I'm visiting China, we'll talk. Xi Jinping, if you're watching, you don't have to do this indirect back and forth shit, all right? You want to talk to me about helping out China? Talk to me when I visit. Hey, Big A, did you see something happened in the middle? You're just saying things. Imagine you actually get to meet Xi. I can't say how, and I can't say why, and I can't say who. But I am only one person away from Xi Jinping. As in, I know somebody. Well, I'm sorry, maybe it's two. But it's very close to. I know somebody who is extremely close with somebody who has personally shook hands with Xi Jinping. So I'm close. It's Germa. Germa's a CCP official. Yeah, Germa's close with the CCP. But that's a fact. I'm not exaggerating or lying. I have a low Xi Jinping number. That's what I'll say. I have a low Xi Jinping number. Now the chance of me meeting him, I think, is pretty slim. But CoffeeZilla was wearing it on Twitter. You know, CoffeeZilla DM'd me and told me he bought my merch. He bought this is him saying am I doxing him? No, it's not this one. Yeah, he bought a green Enron hat. And you know what he should have bought is the brand new Enron two-tone hats, where you can get the green bill with the beige top, two tones, available now. Failedcodes.co. I think free shipping may be still available. Anyway, he bought the hat, but he also told me that, so when I first covered the Enron company coming back, you guys saw the billboards in Dallas and the Enron egg and all that. I was like, is this a crypto scam? In my Max Stupid video. And he DM'd me and said, hey, they talked to me and said it's not a crypto scam. They're not launching a coin. And I was like, all right. And then we made fun of it, whatever. And then today they launched a coin. Today they launched a fucking coin. They lied to CoffeeZilla. So he made a video on it. I'm going to watch it with you. It's Voidzilla. But anyway, thank God he has the official Enron merch. From me. From me. The official Enron merch from me. Nothing more official than... Hey, Big A, check out what just said to us today. California state schools are implementing an AI initiative supporting students with free ChatGPT. Cool. So just to be clear, that's state funds going to buy 400,000 subscriptions to ChatGPT. It's fucking sick. Yeah, it just feels like a little bit of cronyism, man. It feels like there's government big tech partnerships to make sure to pump their bags. Everyone's scared of DeepSeek. That's what it feels like, but whatever. You know, I mean, it's cool. Cool the kids aren't paying for it. Yo, Big A, somebody posted on your subreddit about how he was a finalist for a Doritos Super Bowl competition. Well, it turns out the guy won the competition and his dad is playing in the Super Bowl. Wait, for real? Somebody in the community won a Doritos Super Bowl competition? Is this a joke or real? This is incredible. If this is true, please let me know. Or somebody post something else on the Reddit, I'll find out. I want to watch it. But I'm doing a Super Bowl commercial react, so if it's in there, we'll watch it. We'll watch it. I'll watch it when it's there. That's fucking sick. Congrats. There's a Reddit post with it, but doesn't have if it won or not. Well, this is fucking cool. Well, yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it for the reaction. We'll have this story. It's fucking sick. First time here. Binged your YouTube channel. You're my favorite content creator. Keep it up, brother. Easy clap. We fooled another one, boys. We used the YouTube to fool another fly into the web. Get scammed. Get scammed. Now you're trapped. Now you're going to be saying brain rot, glizzy, coffee cow. You'll never get out. You're going to be putting down the cup. It's all, you're going to be buy now, pay latering your fucking altcoin crypto gambling. We got you dead to rights. We got you dead to rights. Hey, thank you, though, Overcast the Light for the 3 months. Thank you, Armo Flame for the 25. Thank you, Sand Spikes for the 5 gifties. Do you have a message? Sand Spikes, your message was Harry Potter anniversary. No, I'm sorry. You said that 8 months ago. You haven't spoken in 8 months. you just dropped 5 gifties. Thank you very much for the 5 gifties. And for 8 months ago saying Harry Potter anniversary. I don't know what to think about that, but I appreciate it. I sincerely appreciate it. Billary Squinton! Holy moly, a long time. Long time community member. Billary Squinton, thank you for the 51 months. 1 month for each state in the union after we absorbed Canada poggies. Dude, what happened? I'm so sad. I thought Donald Trump was going to commit economic warfare on Canada until they submitted to becoming our 51st state. But now all we got was a fentanyl czar from Justin Trudeau? What happened to the 51st state, dude? What happened to the expanding our territory? That's what I wanted. I can't put down the vent. It'll still happen. Tim Hortons will fall. You know, if you talk to Canadians, Tim Hortons has already fallen because it's fallen off in quality. A true Canadian will tell you that Tim Hortons is not, Timmy's is not what it used to be. Ever since America got involved, that's how we kill you from within. That's how we kill you. America first sends in our billionaires. That's our wave one of the assault. That's the first one on the beach of Normandy. Our billionaires go in and they buy up the shit and they slowly inshitify it. Thus leaving you weak and demoralized for the eventual evasion. I want to buy an internet hat, but I'm worried someone will take it poorly, especially as I work in finance. My guesstimate is that everyone will take it the opposite of poorly. They'll think it's extra funny because it's a finance reference. But if they think you, likely a Zoomer, worked at Enron, then I guess they're just dumb. I guess just roll with it. I work in securities analysis. My boss loved it. I mean, you could also just, you could wear the Enron hat and then a shirt that says, nah, this is ironic though. I don't actually support the defrauding of people's pensions, the cutting off of California power, and the lying about our book statements to Wall Street. You could like put that on there and then that everyone, you know what I'm saying? Front and back. Then everyone will know. Is the part of it? Yeah, I don't misspeak. I don't misspeak. I've never chosen my words incorrectly. Toochback, give it the 24 months. You unprompted said we need to nuke the city of Boston. And he might not even be wrong. He might not even be wrong. Could that actually be based? News at 11. Can you guys see on my wall back there just how many fucking hats I have hanging up? It is Balding City. It's every time I open the door out of this room, the whole door is covered floor to ceiling with hats. It's like it's a reminder. Jason Tatum knows you, lil bro. What? Jason Tatum probably does know me. Jason Tatum would probably copy on Marketing Monday bar for bar after winning a championship. Because he hasn't had an original celebration in his fucking life. It's not the same roasting you for hair loss after seeing Aiden. Right? Right? Certainly feels like could get worse. Certainly feels like it could be worse, bro. Certainly feels like I got a way to go. And he's younger than me, just to be clear. So, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. It's actually a fucking massive raid. Zombies go nom nom. Welcome, Zombies fan. What is the song Zombies by Well, I don't know though. I just replaced the word with raid. Raid! Raid! It's in your chat. It's in your chat. Yeah, anyway, you get it. It needs some work. Thank you for the raid. Hey, Koostube, thank you for the 9 months. God, please don't sing. Be honest. Is it because you are a Juilliard trained singer and you're jealous that I've accomplished everything that you've done in your life in 5 minutes? Is it because you've realized that I'm a natural talent at singing and that your years of practice have, okay. I figured and I understand that. And I will get back. All right. Atrioc, do you think Vivek being part of Doge will affect the taxation on Up Dog? I wanted to call you out because Vivek's not part of Doge, but you just want to hit me with a what's up, dog. So what's up with you? Don't mind the hater. You are God at singing. Thank you. That means a lot. Do you guys think I should probably quit this whole content and business thing and go straight in on a singing career? Do you guys think I should try out for American Idol and take all the money I have and book some tour dates across the country, hopefully to fill these and just travel around trying to, and I don't want to have any backing track or anything either. It's just going to be me singing raw from the heart. Okay, I'll do it. American Idol hasn't aired in 10 years, Lil Onk. Is that true? I thought American Idol never dies. American Idol is airing right now. I mean, 2024 was the most recent season. You fucking idiot. You fucking buffoon. I want an apology, Electron Wrangler. I want an apology. The chat demands an apology for your lies. I'm an idiot, lol. All right, well, that's easy. All right, you know what? Now you're VIP'd. Hey, Atrioc, I want some advice. I work a semi-dead-end job at a high-end stereo store. I have associate's degree, thinking about going back to college to improve my situation. Do you have a recommendation on school/majors? I feel old to go back to college. I'm 28. I don't want to give you advice on this because I don't know you well enough, to be honest. Skid mock. But here's the thing. Here's one thing I'll tell you. Obviously, you're not too old. 28, fine. There's plenty of 28-year-olds in college. I would not worry at all about an age part of it. But I don't know your financial situation. I don't know your grades. I don't know what schools you would go to or get into. I don't know what you're interested in. I don't know enough, and I don't want to give you advice that you're going to use for the rest of your life based on one chat message. Here's the thing. When people ask me those kind of questions, and if I ever push back or ask further questions, it's kind of clear you already have a plan in mind and you're hoping that I'll say that. That's what I've noticed. They already have a plan in mind. So what I would say is probably trust your gut. You know what I'm saying? Trust your gut. You know yourself better than me. You know what you want to do. Do some research, look into it, but follow what you're already thinking. Thoughts on Baby No Money having money? It's pretty fucked up. I don't know if any of you are old heads, but there was a point when my TikTok editor met Young Gravy at a concert and got him to say how he fucks with Big A. Or he said, "Do you know Big A?" And he's like, "Yeah, Big A. I fuck with Big A." And that was a clip. All right, we got that. But then, I think around that time, Baby No Money raided me, but I didn't know who he was. I didn't know he was like an actual artist. I thought he was like a up-and-coming artist. And so I asked him, I was like, "Oh," he like raided me. And I was like, "Oh, thanks for the raid." And then my chat's like, "Oh, Baby No Money raid?" And they're like, "He's a musician." I was like, "Oh, do you want to do like a verse on an album? like an Atrioc album?" And he got intimidated, to be honest. He looked at the quality of the music we were already making and realized he was a little outclassed. I'm going to be honest with you. He looked like he was a little bit outclassed, and so he declined. Young Gravy link? Yeah, I mean, we know where it is. Wait.
Yo, Gravy, what do
JD Ruse, my old TikTok editor, met an Atrioc fan today.
Yo, Gravy, what are your thoughts on Big A?
I'm fucking Big A. Atrioc?
Yeah.
That's my dog, dude. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is it Targeting Tuesday?
Tuesdays.
We're doing a Targeting Tuesday. We're doing a Targeting Tuesday today. How about that? Should I buy now, pay later an Enron hat? I would never, ever, ever recommend buy now, pay later unless it is for something that is built for your future, like an Enron hat. Do you know what I'm saying? If it's something that's going to earn dividends, which an Enron hat will do, it will actually make you money because of how fresh you're going to look, because the opportunities that will open up. People will see that you're in the know on finance humor. So people will get it and they will give you the nod. I wore the Enron hat to I walked past this fancy restaurant in New York, and the CEO of American Express came outside and said, "Sir, I get it." I get it. He tipped his hat to me. I was also wearing an Enron hat at the time. And he handed me an exclusive American Express black card. And then I held it in front of him, and I tossed it in the gutter and said, "I don't need one. I'm already paid." And he said, "Of course. Of course you are. The hat. Goodbye, good sir. Goodbye and good luck." And I walked away. This happened. I'm not exaggerating. This is, no shot. I don't believe you. No, someone was there. People in chat were there. They were the waiter. Put that shit on. Why don't you wear the Nortel hat to show your support for Canada? Canada's fine, bro. Canada's fine. They have a fentanyl czar now. Things are looking up. Big A, were you using the whiteboard for this? No, Meggies. The whiteboard is filled, but it's with my notes to myself. I was I was a maestro up there when I was working on this shit. Fentzar sounds hard as fuck. Dude, I would love to see a Breaking Bad style show about the fentanyl czar in Canada getting addicted to fent. I think that would be such a fucking badass show. And he's like trying to hide it, you know? But slowly he's descending into fent addiction. And he has to constantly explain to Trudeau what's going on, but bravo, Vince, you've done it again. Are the Mavs a terrorist organization? That's a good question. We'll talk about it today. I do have written on the board. I have Mavericks equals criminal conspiracy. That's written on the board right now, and so we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's check up. We got a few minutes left. Check up on stocks. DougDoug.com/stocks. Who is in the lead? Still me, but close. Stanzi is right on my ass. Everyone else is in the dust. I think it is because of Oklo Inc. Yeah, this is a good pick, at least for now. This is Sam Altman's nuclear startup. It is the year of nuclear, after all. It is the year of nuclear. Trump coin down 53%. Holy, by far the worst performing stock in the whole competition of the 50, and it's not close. Trump coin might have lost more than like every other loss combined, or at least very close. Diamond hands, though. Diamond hands, ready for the next pump. All Trump has to do is say the words Trump coin, and it will double, which is crazy. But that just means more suckers bought in to lose again. It's Palantir. Doug's Palantir is doing quite well. Had a huge spike today. Again, tough to figure out the fair value of this stock given how much more it trades than it earns. But they are growing. It's a growth. I mean, Palantir is a company that provides AI solutions for the government, specifically around military. Like, imagine you are a battlefield commander in America and you want to have an AI satellite track the battlefield to see if anything has moved in the past 2 weeks, that kind of thing. That's what Palantir does. They do all sorts of like, but almost all their money comes from the U.S. government. All their money comes from contracts with the government, and the idea is that they'll keep growing that. But they're like 470 times earnings. So, I mean, that means if the stock didn't go up at all, like stayed exactly flat, and they grew their revenue 10x, they would still be 47 times earnings, which would make them one of the outside of Tesla, maybe the most overvalued company on, it's crazy. I understand they're growing. I think we're in a true meme era, but at least they're growing. Growth. Everyone loves growth. Isn't that a waste when we can invest in more child soldiers? Honestly, that is a really good point. But I think in an age of, possible warfare, growing geopolitical strife, we have to do both. We have to have weird government AI third-party corporations, and we have to have child soldiers. You can't just do one. Do you know what I'm saying? We have to be ready for warfare on all fronts. Did you see ChatGPT added reasoning like DeepSeek? Yeah, you know what's so funny is like, man, this has been the greatest proof positive of how good competition is. Dude, the second there was any real competition for OpenAI, they dropped the price, added free versions, upgraded the thing. They're thinking of going open source. They added reasoning. They did all this in like a week. 1 week, they did all these changes that were supposedly impossible. This will happen to everything. Do you understand that if you have strong antitrust, strong monopoly breakups, pro-competitive environments, this will happen to every product in your life? Cars, TVs, colleges, medicine, whatever, everything. You'll get better things cheaper. We just allow like this weird cronyism where you can just buy politicians and lock down competition and fucking sit there with your fat ass collecting rent. They had reasoning since this merch is not free? No. That's not what I'm talking about. Again, I've bought all the latest packages. I know what they have. They've had reasoning behind the scenes, but they wouldn't show you what it was thinking. That is what they added in response to DeepSeek. My channel points are gone? Oh, no. Lock in, twin, 2 minutes? Don't call me twin. Don't call me, it's 4 minutes now. Don't call me twin. Don't fucking call me twin, dude. We're not, don't say twin. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da ba-da ba-da. Ba-da ba-da ba-da. Is that how China's been growing all their industries by implementing a hyper-competitive market with strong antitrust? No, China doesn't have really strong antitrust. No, they do have hyper-competitive markets in things like EVs and in AI. Then once somebody wins, they become the national champion. So they're in the growth phase. See, the competition works in the growth phase, and then eventually there's a winner that consolidates and entrenches and fucking blocks out competitors and gets political power. And that's where you need antitrust if you want to restart the cycle. You have to break it up to. They're in the growth phase where it's all good. Hey, Big A, should I take up Elon's offer to go to Mars, or would the moon be a better bet? I kind of like red, but Elon's kind of cringe, so IDK. You have a competing offer from someone other than Elon Musk to go to the moon. NASA's offering you to go to the moon, or what? What's Bezos? I think it's Mars, baby. I think it's Mars. If you go to Mars, you will be part of something incredible in human history. The first time Elon Musk has kept a promise. It'll be incredible. I mean, that would be truly generational. You would go down. That would be an honor. Hey, Big A, long-time YouTube frog here. I work for the government. I was offered the buyout by Doge. I've been working here for less than a year, which means I'm on probation, which means I have no job protections. Do you think I should take a deal? I can't give you advice on this because I don't know the specifics. I'm sorry, but what I've heard is that people are afraid these buyouts won't get paid or they won't get honored. There's some worry about that. And then there's the other worry is that, like, if I don't take the buyout, or if I get fired later anyway and I don't get the, it's a fucking conundrum. But my assumption is you will get paid, to be honest. My guess is the courts would hold up. I mean, let's hope they don't go to court, but my assumption is you will get paid in a buyout offer. I think you would. Whether or not you think it's a good idea. Listen, let me tell you something. Tell you one thing right now, and I'll give you myself another minute to say it. 2 minutes to say it. It's a fucking tough job market, especially if you're looking for a white collar career type job right now. It's a tough fucking job market. Okay? So if that's what you're doing in the government and you're like, I'm gonna take the buyout and look somewhere else, understand it's hard. Number two, it's harder to find a job when you don't currently have a job. Interviewers love it when you already have a job. They feel like they're stealing you. Whenever you don't have a job and you're applying, they feel like they're taking a risk on you. But when you have a job, it's like, oh, we're getting this guy. It's like the dating market. I guess not. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that. So lie? Yeah, fucking feel free, bro. Feel free. Dude, I remember when Ari was applying for jobs, this was fucking fucked up, dude. First of all, we both graduated ASU, same place. And she had better grades than me, by far. I played League of Legends, she didn't. She had a better degree than me. She graduated industrial design. But when we were both in San Francisco and she was applying for jobs, she would get like no callbacks on a ton of her resumes. And I asked her to try changing her last name from Trujillo, which is what it was at the time, to my last name, even though we weren't married. And she got more callbacks. Which is crazy. It's fucking crazy. We saw that in real time. So what I'm saying is use my last name on your interview. So what I'm saying is I have a badass last name, and that's the key. That's what I'm saying. And you're going to win big. It's going to go huge. Wait, there's a little more. Give me another minute here. All right, that's the last one. There's a couple more things, and then we'll be right around 7:45. What else? Job market sucks, but I think I should be good. I'm hearing talk that I might be traded to the Lakers. Well, that's what we're about to talk about. That's what we're about to talk about, bro. We're going to get right to it. Don't you worry. Don't you fucking worry. Is Atrioc your first name or your last name? Dude, it's funny how many people call me Atrioc. We were just we were playing basketball, and I just realized that everyone uses their real names and they call me Atrioc. It's fucking wild. Like, we had 2 new people join our game, and then everyone's like, you're on Atrioc's team. Like, this is Jeff, this is Brian, this is Atrioc. It's like, what? Just call me Brandon. We all know that. Everyone there knows my name is Brandon, but it's funny. It's like become... That's funny. Yo, Big A, what'd you have for lunch today? I had a BLT. A BLAT, actually, just to be clear. Avocado is on there. It was very delicious. It was very tasty. A blat. Hey, Poggy's just never marketing money. Targeting Tuesday, but yes. I keep thinking he's about to take a massive rip of a vape, like a classic millennial, every time that marker goes. It's a marker. It's not a vape. You had avocado? Psh, rich folks? Yeah, I did have avocado. I did have avocado. What? I will die on the hill of BLT, being a tomato sandwich with bacon as topping. The tomatoes have to be on point or it's mid as best. What are you fucking talking about? What are you fucking talking about? A BLT is a delicious sandwich, and there was an avocado on there. And also, you can have a lot of bacon in a BLT, which I do. I have a lot of bacon, so it's a bacon sandwich, a little bit of tomato and lettuce. It's delicious. BLT is one of my favorite sandwiches. That's why I just get the BL. That's so nasty. Oh my God. Just eat chicken nuggets from your mom if you're going to get BL, dude. No. If you're just going to eat fucking bacon lettuce, that's so stupid. You don't remember the T. No, that's fucking... That's chicken nuggies and pizza rolls if you have a BL sandwich. The T stands for toast. Okay, why not just a fucking B at that point? You just eat bacon, you fucking Redditor. Banh Mi is the best sandwich, bar none. Okay, now you're actually fucking cooking. The banh mi is a fearsome and powerful sandwich. Everyone loves banh mi. Everyone loves banh mi. Okay, that's real. In fact, banh mi may actually be the best overall all-arounder sandwich. I'm not even kidding. You might not be fucking wrong with that. You might have cooked. The way I'm trying to think of a Cuban. I'll be honest with you, as a white man, I love sandwiches. I eat all sorts of sandwiches all the time. I eat sandwiches fucking pretty much every single day. I like pastrami. He's white. I eat an Italian sub. I used to eat an Italian sub every single day in college. You like BLT, but you like Fuck My Chungus Life? I like a Reuben. I like a... sandwiches are great. Sandwiches are just a great way of putting shit together. What about the hoagie? I'll fuck with a hoagie. I thought you were Latina. Latino. I am an honorary Latino. I do get it, but that's for nighttime food. That's where I have tacos. And breakfast. I think Latino breakfast clears all. I think it might clear everyone else. I think huevos rancheros and chilaquiles are absolutely S tier. It's tough to. I think it's tough. But then lunchtime, that's when the Sandwich King comes around. And then dinner time, really, you can go all places with it. Honestly, I might fuck with Korean food the most for dinner. Korean food bangs for dinner. Korean dinner hits. So if I had to tier list them, obviously you can have variety. Real Korean or American Korean? I think in LA you get real Korean. I truly believe that. Because it's a very good Koreatown. But I also lived in Korea, so I don't notice much of a difference. You know, it's probably better in Korea, but you can get real Korean in LA. Not anywhere else in America? Well, I do think, yeah, like if I go to Arizona and try to get Korean food, it's usually pretty shit. It's usually, I mean, sometimes dude, there's like spots in Arizona when they'll just have like generic Asian restaurant that has just well-known Asian food all mixed. It'll have like, you know, it'll have like ramen at a Korean restaurant. It'll have like, you know, it'll just like mix. Oh shit! Timer! Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I need 30 seconds. 30 fucking seconds. 30 seconds. What anything we have to say? We talked about food. We talked about food. We talked about everything. It's time for a Marketing Monday. Lock the fuck in. Everyone, be sure to buy your new two-tone Enron hats or Enron soft and comfortable quarter zips. Available on failedco's.co. Hashtag ad. I bought 10. I bought 12. Still free shipping. Still free shipping. Available now. They're the most stylish and cool thing in the world. And then we're going to watch the CopyZilla video afterwards. Without further ado, I only need one thing from you before we jump into today's Targeting Tuesday, and that is to analyze the screen that I'm about to show you. I'm going to show you a very top secret video. When you see this video, you need to look at it and find the part of it that represents you. And when you see that, you say, Poggy's me, so that the data can be collated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Marketing Monday. I want to take you back in time. It's December 27th, 2022. Get this correct. Okay. It's December 27th, 2022, and the Dallas Mavericks are down 2 points to the New York Knicks. There's 4 seconds left on the clock, and the star of the Mavericks, Luka Doncic, steps up for a free throw. If he makes this shot, his team will get 1 point, the clock will run out, and they will lose. But if he misses the shot on purpose, cinema!
It is a miracle. Stranger things have happened.
Cinema! Him! They went on to win that incredibly clutch overtime, and Luka got a stat line of 60, 21, 10. Absurd. Absurd. He was a star, and other stars, other basketball stars responded. Kevin Garnett said, it's going to be another statue in Dallas. Luka is like that. Okay? Referencing, of course, the iconic Dirk Nowitzki statue in front of the Mavs Stadium. And it's not the first time that reference has been made. Luka was drafted by the Mavs in 2018. And even then, even at the very beginning of his time in the league, they said he's going to be the next Dirk. He's going to be a cornerstone of the franchise. We believe in him. This is in 2018. Dirk even said, welcome my man. Okay? 50,000 likes. Flash forward to 2024, and this investment in 2018 has paid off. Okay? In 2024, Luka leads the Mavs to the NBA Finals. Again, they only have one championship in their entire franchise history. He got to the finals. Now, they didn't win, but he played amazing. He was the leading scorer of the league, winning a scoring award, and ESPN ranked him as the number 2 overall player of the year in 2023-2024. It was an incredible investment. He was the face of the franchise. He was an all-star. He was runner-up MVP voting, headed for future MVP. And then 3 days ago, a weird tweet popped up from famous NBA reporter Shams. Breaking. The Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. The 3-team deal includes Utah. EE was the top responder and said, this can't be real, bro. What? Our friend EE. The response was confusion. Not shock, not anger, confusion. He must have been hacked. Hacked. I don't believe this. Shams got to be hacked. This is def hacked, bro. What the fuck? Even players. Even fucking players. Tyrese Halliburton. Shams got hacked? Even players, LeBron James, AD, and Luka were all stunned. Players involved in the trade were all stunned. Even Shams himself, the one who broke the trade, thought his own phone was hacked.
I mean, I thought my phone was hacked when I got the text messages with...
He thought the information that he got was hacked before he posted it. Luka himself had no idea.
I mean, everybody was surprised, so you can imagine how surprised I was. I was almost asleep, so when I got a call, I had to check it was April 1st. I didn't really believe it at first.
He thought it was April Fool's. He thought it was April Fool's. I mean, he had just bought a brand new home in Dallas-Fort Worth. He was in there for the long haul. He thought he was a lifelong Mav. He didn't expect it. But then, slowly, but slowly, but then all at once, people realized this wasn't a hack. This wasn't fake. This was a real trade. This 3-way trade between the Mavs, Lakers, and Jazz basically ended up with the Lakers getting Luka and Mavericks getting AD and then a bunch of other smaller things. Even the Jazz, who were part of this 3-way trade to make it done, had no idea what was happening. They didn't know Luka or AD were part of the deal until an hour before it was completed. But by then, it was too late to do anything about it. Again, their president wouldn't have wanted this. He didn't want the Lakers. He was their rival. He didn't want their Lakers to get to get Luka. And once it became clear that this was not a fake trade, this was real, that's when the firestorm hit. That's when the hate started pouring in fast and furious. The Luka Doncic trade is the dumbest NBA move I've ever seen. There's no living this down. In a trade that makes zero basketball sense and will go down in NBA infamy, the Dallas Mavericks have sent prime Luka to the LA Lakers for real. Mavericks fans started literally disassociating. I mean this sincerely. This is a Maverick fan talking. It was the first time in my life when I was like, oh, I'm not awake right now. When I read it, I was like, I'm not awake. This isn't real. And then I was like, he was hacked. His girlfriend immediately went into triage mode. She was like, it's going to be okay. Take a beta blocker. The trade was fucking brutal. It was the last vestige of a calmer world. Luka got us through the pandemic. It's such a massive betrayal. There was an actual meltdown. The Mavericks lost 700,000 Instagram followers overnight following the trade. Even Duolingo was making fun of them. The fans started to show up literally in protest in front of the stadium.
I've been a Mavs fan my whole entire life since I've been a baby. This is the worst moment in the history of my life. This is ridiculous. This is crazy, man. We went to the NBA Finals. Why are we trading the best player, the franchise player? How are we trading the franchise player? We went to the NBA Finals. He's supposed to have a statue. Hell yeah. He's supposed to have a statue. Dirk got a statue right there. It's supposed to be Luka right there. Why we don't got a statue for Luka?
Why we don't get a statue for Luka? They told us we were going to get a statue for Luka. That was the plan that the fans had been building towards. It was working. They had just gone to the finals. What the fuck is happening? People even said, I bought this t-shirt, by the way, another ambush in Dallas. It shows JFK's assassination along with Luka being traded to the Lakers. Truly, the internet was the entire internet was crashing out, and everyone had one question, one important question, said here by 4 fans showing up with a coffin with the franchise logo on it in front of the stage. The question was why? Why in the hell did the Mavericks blow up all of their fan goodwill and everything they've been building towards in this seemingly nonsense trade? What the hell happened? Why? Well, there's the official story. I'll tell it to you now. The official story is that AD, who is a great player, was worth it. That their GM thought Anthony Davis will bring the defense they need to win championships. They're now built to win now and in the future. That's the official announcement. This is all part. It makes the team better. Makes the team better. The unofficial official announcement with a little bit of rumors. Wait, before that, by the way, AD, his first day as a Maverick, they got his stats wrong in the Instagram post, and he had to correct them in the comments. His first day as a Maverick. But they won AD. AD is the key to the future. They're more likely to win a championship, they say, with AD than with the league's leading scorer from last season. Speaking of Instagram posts, by the way, Luka's teammate, PJ Washington, had a baby, and he congratulated him and said, congrats, hold on to that baby before they trade him. A lot of fun stuff on Instagram. But this argument is a little suspicious, especially given that the second this trade happened, odds makers who have been good at predicting what happens in the NBA have drastically cut the Mavericks' odds of winning and drastically increased the Lakers' odds of winning for this season, not even the future. By the way, Luka's way younger, has more of his prime ahead of him. I got sense out. Oh, my bad. Cut that part out. But anyway, so they changed the odds. And then, obviously, the Mavs' first game without Luka, again, they haven't got AD yet, but was a demoralizing crash out. A 43-point lifeless disaster in the first Luka Doncic trade. I also watched this video, 2 million views, about why he got traded. And this went over the rumors. This is the rumors of what really happened. It wasn't just they wanted AD. It was that the unthinkable had happened. Luka Doncic was secretly fat. He's fat. That was the tea. Secretly, Luka was fat. In private, he had been skipping his conditioning. He was getting up to 270. He was getting out of shape. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't good as he was before. He's a chunky boy. Basically, they were saying, we're not getting rid of an all-star. We're not getting rid of a future MVP. We're getting rid of James Corden. You can have him. That's the rumor they floated. They no longer viewed him as their franchise building block. But that's pretty sudden after a finals, right? Again, this is part of the rumor mill. Apparently, the deal originally included more first-round picks and Dalton Knecht, a great player. But instead, it got whittled down to just basically AD and one pick because of his drinking and his weight problem. Well, that's okay, maybe. But if that were true, if it were all about winning more championships, and Luka wasn't jiving with the team, you'd think the coach of the Dallas Mavericks would have had at least some idea this is going to happen.
You know, we kept it between us. We had to keep it tight. J. Kidd didn't know about it, but J. Kidd and I
Look
are
at his
aligned,
face.
and we talk about archetypes and we talk about the culture that we want to create. So I know the type of players that he likes without actually talking to him. Hey, would you like, you know?
Hey, would you like it if I got rid of your star player? The coach of the Dallas Mavericks had no idea that the player he'd been building around would be sold out from underneath him. He was absolutely shocked. Also, as of today, when Luka landed in LA and did a press conference, people were noticing he doesn't look overweight. He's maybe not in the best shape of his life, but he doesn't look 270, bro. He doesn't look like it's a fucking generational problem that he suddenly lost all of his fucking skill. He looks like he's fine. I seriously don't think this is the deep, hardcore reason why he's gone. Again, when asked about it, you think they asked Luka directly, was it because of your conditioning this happened? This is what he had to say.
And one of the reasons that was given was that there was concern that, you know, beyond this summer, or that there's a chance you might not agree to the Supermax extension. Did you?
Wait, skip. It's
times. Do you feel you have something to prove?
Absolutely not. It's easy as.
I'm sorry, it's the wrong question.
Nothing else in championship, so you don't come here for.
Hey, Luka, good to see you.
Okay, I'm not gonna find this clip. It's in there. They ask him about conditioning. He says absolutely not. That's what he says. He says absolutely not. There was no problem with my conditioning. Okay, we'll put that in the video. It doesn't say that. So anyway, all this adds up to say there's something confusing here, right? Everyone is asking why the fuck this trade's happening, and the answers being given don't feel good enough. Especially when you think about this. Even if this is all true, even if Luka's not the talent they want, even if AD's what they want to win, even if they think they could get something better for their team, why not ask other teams? Why not create a bidding war? You could have gotten the biggest haul in NBA history by trading Luka. But instead, they go privately behind the back only to Lakers and give them an amazing sweetheart deal. They could have gotten anything. Again, this guy was so incredibly in demand. If it was a business reason to make the team better, why not do this? Execs were baffled. Every other team exec is furious. They're furious that Lakers are the only team allowed to bid. They're furious and jealous that the only one allowed to bid. And maybe you say, well, they didn't want to have it get out and have any fan backlash. But even that's becoming untrue because it's the Mavs executive class is saying they didn't expect any backlash or this level of backlash. So what the hell's going on? What's happening? And I think Ant Edwards summed it up best in this question when he was asked about it.
At 25, they traded probably the best scorer in the NBA at 25. And he didn't know about it. So it's a lot more digging somebody got to do to find out why he got traded. Because you don't just trade him at 25. He just went to the finals, you know what I'm saying? So
It's a good question. It's a good question. You don't just trade him at 25. He just went to the finals. There's a lot more digging we need to do to figure out what went on. And that is why I am introducing the Doncic conspiracy. This is the Doncic conspiracy, folks. I think this goes a lot deeper. I think there's more going on here than what they are saying. And it comes in 4 parts. I might look like this. I might sound crazy. But let's take a deeper look at some inconvenient truths. Number 1, a billionaire's game. You may have noticed if you're a sports fan, this is a post from a subreddit. Is it me, or do some owners just not care about winning anymore? This applies not just to the NBA, but to all sports. People are noticing more and more billionaires owning sports teams, and some of them don't seem to give a crap whether or not their team does well. As the NBA TV contracts start to get near NFL levels, the main source for revenue for all the owners is TV deals, which means they get the money regardless of how well the team does. They don't care about merch. They don't care about tickets. They just sit back and collect TV revenue. Interesting. Oh, wait. Interesting. And so I looked into that. This is happening in every sport. Billionaires start buying teams they don't even care about. We got U.S. billionaires buying English soccer teams. Billionaires are buying up sports teams left and right because the economics of sports franchise ownership have exploded beyond imagination. As the TV deals get bigger and bigger and bigger, like the recently signed $76 billion NBA TV deal, the amount of money you can make each year just by sitting there doing nothing grows and grows. Which means the most profitable thing to do is to cut your expenses as much as possible and coast. Interesting. And coast as your franchise value goes up and up and up. Additionally, billionaires have noticed you can use sports teams to avoid millions in taxes. Here's Steve Ballmer, a former CEO of Microsoft, who pays less in taxes as a percent than Anthony Davis. Again, Ballmer made $656 million in income, paid 12%. Anthony Davis made $35 million in income, paid 40%. Here's how that works.
This is billionaire Steve Ballmer. He owns the LA Clippers. He pays a way lower tax rate than millionaire LeBron James. He even pays a lower rate than Adelaide Avila, a stadium worker.
Good for him. Good for him.
He's basically dunking on the tax system. Welcome to Planet Tax Avoidance. This is a magical place where sports team owners can tell the government they make tens or even hundreds of millions less than they actually do and pay very little in taxes. And it's all perfectly legal. How? Amortization. Pro sports teams are like unicorns in the business world. They pretty much always increase in value.
Hell yeah!
But our tax laws allow the owners to claim that their team's assets lose value, like a machine that wears out over time.
Interesting. So the value keeps going up and up. You can cut your expenses to the bone to make money off the TV deals, and you can claim all of it as losses on your taxes to offset your other billionaire sources of income. What a great thing to own. Not to care about the sport, but to own. But if you were trying to cut expenses for an NBA team just to coast and make TV revenue money, well, then you wouldn't want to spend $345 million signing a brand new Supermax contract with Luka Doncic next year, which he was eligible to get next year. You'd probably want to cut that off altogether, even though this was designed so that smaller market teams could keep their stars, pay them what they're actually worth. Instead, you could cut it. And again, they may have floated the idea that he wouldn't sign that deal or try to go somewhere else. But if you ask him, look at his face.
And one of the reasons that was given was that there was concern that, beyond this summer, or that there's a chance you might not agree to the Supermax extension
Look at his face.
Did you or anyone on your inner circle indicate that that might be the case?
Absolutely not.
There's no fucking way he wouldn't sign it. That's the best. It would be the highest paid player in the NBA. Of course he wants that deal. And now that he's at the Lakers, he can't get that deal. The Supermax only applies to the team you drafted with if you're a star for a long time, which means the best deal he can get in the Lakers is $116 million less. So Luka gets robbed out of the money he earned by staying with Dallas. And of course, the Dallas owners get to save a little bit of money. They get to save a little bit of money in coast. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Let's go back to this guy for a second as he complains about the money ruining his favorite sport.
This new management is putting profit over fans. Profit over fans. Feel me? They're not worried about the fans. They don't care that we've invested 7 years of it believing in Luka, believing in building a team around Luka. They don't care about that. They just want to make their gambling money, make a couple $100 million, and leave us stuck out here. You know, now we're back to square one. We're back to square zero.
That's a good point. That's a good point. The only thing he got wrong is he said they want to make a few $100 million. Part 2, the house always wins. Now, you might think he's talking about the owner, Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks, because for 23 years, the owner of the Mavericks has been Mark Cuban. You know him from Shark Tank. But he's been the passionate face. He's there at the front row every game. He does the press conferences. He's clearly a diehard basketball fan. But he said in this quote, new management. Because Mark Cuban is not the current owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He was until recently. If he was still the owner, I don't think this trade would have happened because he said, and I quote, if I had to choose between my wife and keeping Luka on the Mavs, catch me at my lawyer office preparing for a divorce. So I don't think Mark Cuban would have gone for this trade. But Mark Cuban is no longer the owner of the Mavericks. This guy is. The Vegas casino executive who just hit the NBA jackpot. This is Patrick Dumont. He co-owns the Mavericks now with the Adelson family. Long-term Vegas casino billionaires. Sheldon is now dead. This is Miriam, his wife, who carries on his name of being a Vegas billionaire. But these three own the Mavericks, with Mark Cuban owning a small minority shareholder. Why did Mark Cuban sell to these? I mean, Mark Cuban's a billionaire. He doesn't need more of the money. Why did he sell to these Vegas billionaires? It was the changing NBA landscape. Let's get his words exactly.
Very pointed question. Why did you sell the Mavs at this moment?
So I sold 3/4 of them, not the whole thing. I still own 27.7%. For a couple reasons. One, when I first bought in 2000, I was the tech guy in the NBA. I was the media guy. You know, broadcast.com just sold it. HDNet just created the very first ever high definition television network. I had every edge in every angle. Now, fast forward 24 years later, in order to sustain growth, to be able to compete with the new collective bargaining agreement, you have to have other sources of revenue.
Like what? So when you came into the league in 2002 and bought the Mavs, you were the tech guy, and NBA wanted tech guys. It was basically time for rich people to buy sports teams and lose money on them and whatever. But in this new era, what do you need to have to compete, Mark?
And so you see other teams, and all sports for that matter, you know, talking about casinos, talking about doing real estate development,
all this here.
hotel. That's just not me.
You need casinos, you need hotels, you need real estate experience to turn your sports team into a much bigger profit. That's where the money is. Interesting. You need to be basically, as Steve Ballmer might say, a real estate
Developers.
It's all about real estate developers. Why billionaire sports owners are snapping up so much real estate. That is what the future of sports is, because of gambling. That's where the money is. The destination travel, the hotels, the resorts, the casinos. all of it built into and around the sports books, all built into and around the stadiums. Mark Cuban recognizes this. Again, the Mavericks franchise is worth a few billion now, but if they sell it to a casino owner,
if we're able to build a Venetian type casino in Dallas with an American Airlines Center in the middle of it, the valuation is $20 billion. But I own 27% of that.
Well, good for you, Mark. Well, good for you, Mark. But yes, $20 billion if you can build a Venetian casino in Dallas. Interesting. This fact will come up later. But let's go to part 3. Showtime. This is Adam Silver, commissioner of the NBA. You might know him from the meme where he says, "Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy." Or from his role as a vampire in any movie you've ever seen. But the new phrase that might be more important is "get ready to gamble, buddy." Because 10 years ago, Adam Silver had a plan. He wrote an op-ed where he said, betting on professional sports is currently illegal in most of the United States outside of Nevada. I believe we need a different approach. And he led the charge to getting the NBA to put their full force behind pushing for legalization of gambling and making it a part of their broadcast and a part of their financial system. And for 10 years, they've been working on it. And in the past few years, it has finally started to bear fruit. They finally started to make some money off of this. Sports gambling is huge in the past few years. And it's been a boon to the sports leagues. And they're not stopping there. Again, they want to expand. They want to grow the league. There's always more money to be made, more expansions, more builds, more casinos. Las Vegas doesn't currently have an NBA team, but is definitely on their list of expansion candidates. They're considering a Las Vegas expansion team. Interesting. At the same time, though, maybe they've forgotten about the viewership product. They've forgotten about the fans. They just expect they'll always be there to carry them along, but the fans are slowly but surely watching less. Viewership numbers continue to fall. Ratings keep going down. Each NBA Finals gets slightly less viewership than the last. You can see the slow decline here. Ever since basically the 2010s, it's been a slow decline. Put these pieces together, and you have a league that is looking for something to jumpstart interest in the league, especially globally. Now, what is the number one biggest market team? What is the team that most fans watch and care about? Well, let's look at you guys know the game NBA 2K? You can actually check the data on what the most popular team people play as in the privacy of their own home. It turns out in almost every state, including Texas, which has 2 teams, people play as the Lakers. 3 teams. Sorry, 3 teams. It says 3 teams. Sorry, 3 teams. And people play as the Lakers. Interesting. By the way, speaking of NBA 2K, if you try to make this Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis trade in NBA 2K, it won't let you. It's so one-sided, the game won't let you do it. Interesting. Players have weighed in along these lines.
And so, first of all, I said to myself, before all the reports come out, I said, this wasn't no players was involved in this decision. This was billionaire business.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This was at the top. This was the last 12 to 15 years, the players have decided, right, what we want to do. This was the owners, the governors, the billionaires deciding what they want to do. And so I looked at the business of the game. I said, okay, so the NBA, who everyone talks about, the viewership in America is down. We talked about on this show, the NBA is an international game. The NFL, this is where they at. We are here, but we international. And so our viewership, our money, our stars in the game today are all international players for the most part. So now you look at it and you say, okay, one of the biggest international stars now at 25 years old gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. The biggest market in the world for sports is the Lakers. And so I look at this and I say, okay, obviously Dallas, like we talked about, this is a win now situation for Dallas.
So he's bringing up some ideas. Additionally, even though the news around this will tell you that the Mavericks came up with this idea on their own, the Mavs approached us, the Lakers will say. The Mavs approached us. They wanted to get rid of Luka. We had no idea. This is a crazy thing. We jumped on it. But if you look back a little bit, that doesn't add up with some leaks from months and months and months ago. People have been talking about the Lakers' plan to steal Luka for months. 4 months. Even years. In 2023, we're talking about this potential trade. In 2021, Amir Blumenfeld, who has a basketball podcast, pictured here with me, by the way, said, what is it about Luka to the Lakers that just feels inevitable? There's been leaks. They've been targeting Luka as the face of their franchise for a while. That they've known this is the way to grow their mass market appeal for the next 10 years. Lakers always seem to end up with a big star, which helps the NBA. They've had the most championships. They always seem to end up with a big star. And they reportedly had their sights set on Luka Doncic for a while to replace LeBron. But all of these reports ended with the same phrase. I mean, these are rumors and they're funny, but it's very unlikely they'd ever be able to get him. Well, look where we find us now. Additionally, the only two people outside of the billionaire casino owners in Vegas who knew about this trade were the GM of the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, and the GM of the Mavericks, Nico Harrison. And these guys are really old friends. This wasn't a bidding war. These are two really old, really connected friends. They came up in the NBA together because Nico worked at Nike and Rob was Kobe's agent. And so they worked together to make the biggest deal for Kobe and make a bunch of money. They lived at the Lakers' place. All they did was worry about Kobe and Lakers. So these long-term, long-connected friends hatched this plan that drastically benefits the Lakers and drastically helps the billionaire owners of Nico Harrison. It's just interesting who the winners seem to be. But all of that's kind of small potatoes. Let's go to point 4. Carrots and sticks. This is Texas. Pause to salute. Pause to salute. Godspeed. All right. They got cowboys. They got oil. They got thriving metropolises with American flag towers. They got their Texas Constitution. And in that Texas Constitution, there's some unique passages. Number 1, gambling is banned. Written directly into the Constitution is that there will be no casinos, there will be no gambling, there will be no sports gambling. They don't even have a state lottery, okay? Nothing. Banned. Texas Constitution. Written long time ago. Hard to get rid of. Requires many majorities in the House and the Senate of Texas to get it replaced. Gambling's banned. Second thing that's odd about Texas is that their legislature only meets for 140 days every 2 years. That means in 2021, they meet from January to June. They make all of the laws, and then they don't meet again for 2 more years. So 2023, January to June, they do all the work. They don't meet again for 2 more years. That's when all the laws get made. In the very beginning of the year, every 2 years. And that's important. That's going to come up later, so keep that in mind. But if you put all this together, and you notice the Constitution bans gambling, but there's so much money to be made in gambling, there's going to be a political push by those with money. And that has happened.
A billionaire casino owner from Las Vegas has his eyes on Texas. Previous efforts to legalize commercial casinos here have fallen short, but KXAN political reporter John Ingalls shows us why supporters are feeling better than ever about their chances.
This is 2023.
For years, buses like these have shuttled Texas.
Sorry. Let's fix the volume. My bad.
A billionaire casino owner from Las Vegas has his eyes on Texas. Previous efforts to legalize commercial casinos here have fallen short, but KXAN political reporter John Ingalls shows us why supporters are feeling better than ever about their chances.
For years, buses like these have shuttled Texans across state lines to try their luck at casinos. And for just as long, some lawmakers have questioned why that money can't stay in Texas.
That's the argument. Why are we letting all our Texas gamblers go elsewhere? We could build casinos right here in Texas and make them money. And the people behind this billionaire push, the Adelsons, for years before they even bought the Mavs, they have been pushing and pushing and pushing to get gambling legalized in Texas. They've been throwing money at it. They've been hiring lobbyists. They've been year after year pushing to try and get gambling legalized in Texas so they can build a second Vegas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Need help. Billionaire casino tycoon Sheldon Adelson has built a team of 8 influential Austin lobbyists ahead of the next legislative session. He and his wife spent $4.5 million on Texas House races in 2020. Experts say they aren't surprised by his interest.
Naturally, all of the significant players in the industry would put, Texas at the top of any of their lists.
Yep. Even former governor of Texas, Rick Perry, seen here swearing in for the job, was hired as a spokesperson for Adelson's Sports Betting Alliance, and then immediately came out and said, I think we should legalize sports betting. Using his influence, they've hired many former Texas politicians, they've hired lobbyists, and they are trying to use all the influence and money they can to get the law changed. So, the Adelsons and their son-in-law, Patrick Dumont here, seen here with Mark Cuban, have pushed for years and years and years to get this through, but it hasn't happened yet. And then they buy the Mavs. They meet up with Mark Cuban and they buy the Mavs. And when they buy the Mavs, people are understandably worried. This has some connection to their constant push for legalized sports gambling. But Dumont says no. He said this unprompted, by the way. I want to point out that us buying the team had nothing to do with getting gambling in Texas. But then he followed up and said, now look, if there ever comes a time where those two things converge and there's a common interest there and it makes sense, we'll pursue it. This is only a year ago. Interesting. Now, if there ever comes a time, I mean, who knows? But obviously, this had nothing to do with gambling in Texas. And they constantly preached patience as their other casino friends asked them why they were making progress. Don't worry, make patience. Again, we think long term. We're not people who think in the short term, said Dumont. We have long-term plans here. Don't worry about that. Interesting. So anyway, let's go back to this. The Texas legislature meets for 140 days every 2 years. In 2021, Sheldon Adelson tried his fucking best to get gambling legalized. He did a huge lobbying blitz, bought the most expensive lobbyist, spent a bunch of money, hired politicians, couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it passed in 2021. And then he died. Okay? His dream left unfulfilled. Then in 2023, his son-in-law and his wife, Mary Adelson, continued the fight. And Texas business interests and family values collided in 2023. And yet in 2023, despite even more spending, even bigger try, it didn't work. There was no support for expanding gaming from the Senate GOP. It's not an issue if voters want us to pass. They couldn't get it passed. The effort fell short, so they couldn't get it done. Now we find ourselves, if you guys look at the date, exactly 2 years after this. We find ourselves right now in the middle of the 89th legislature session, 2025, when they are pushing harder than ever to make a point that we need to get this gambling law passed. We don't want to wait anymore. We want to build the fucking casinos. We're billionaires. 4 hours ago, after all this trade deal happened, after this whole fiasco with the Mavs, Greg Abbott, who had previously not supported it, switched his stance and said he supports Texas legalizing sports gambling. This is the current governor of Texas. Switched his stance and is now for sports gambling. So what do I think happened? If you add all of these different pieces together, what do I think makes more sense than Luka just being fat? I think a couple Vegas billionaires don't give a shit about basketball, and they bought the Mavs for financial reasons. They wanted to, first of all, coast and make tax-free gains, but they also wanted to build a growing second Vegas in Texas. They wanted to build casinos, they wanted to build a stadium, they wanted to build hotels. And they threw a bunch of money at Texas to make this happen, and part of that money included them buying the Mavs. I think that was the plan from the beginning. But then, when it didn't happen, year after year after year, they needed a follow-up plan. And that plan came from the desperation of Adam Silver to get the league to grow its viewership. I think they said, if we can't get this done in Texas, then what we'll do is we'll ship Luka off to the Lakers, helping out Adam Silver, which means he'll give us the green light for the expansion slot in Vegas. We can tank the team, we can move it to Vegas, and if we can't move it to Vegas, then we'll just sit there and rest and vest. We'll spend no money on Luka, we'll sit there and lose and farm taxes. And either way, whether we go to Vegas or whether we sit there and lose because we don't care about winning, we'll make our money back. I think that the entire purpose of this is to make a fuck ton of money for these non-caring about basketball billionaire casino owners. I think when you add it all up, this makes way more sense than Nico Harrison just being suddenly monumentously stupid after 20 years in basketball, making the worst trade in basketball history. That's what I think happened. And I also think that this kind of sucks, right? I think it sucks that even sports are getting constantly invaded by billionaires turning every possible thing into the maximized profit vehicle. I had no problem with Mark Cuban being a billionaire. He loved the Mavericks. He loved basketball. He wanted to win. But these people don't care. And the fact that this has become so profitable has led to a real negative outcome for the fans. I think this is one small symptom of a larger problem where we're seeing some enshittification of a lot of things we used to enjoy as they try to suck the maximum possible value, the maximum squeeze. I also think one more thing. I think I wish this wouldn't happen, but I think in a world where it does, I'm super fucking glad it's happening for the Lakers, baby! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! That's what I'm talking about, baby! We win again! I'm super glad I live in the fucking rich city! I already got tickets, bro! Let's fucking go! But that's where we find ourselves. That's what I think happened. And I hope your parlays hit. Thanks for watching Marketing Monday. See you next week. That was good. Thanks. I'm glad you liked it. It was fun to research. It's crazy. Dude, you could read forever on the shady shit done around sports gambling. I really could make a whole separate episode, and maybe I will, on the 10-year period, the very methodical plan they had to make all of America and all sports fans who had been against gambling for decades to switch. It really is planned, calculated. And now it's everywhere. And now you have 15-year-old kids in Gamblers Anonymous. Now you have like suicide spiking in New Jersey because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand sports gambling can be fun if you can control it, but a lot of people are getting fucked over by it. And it was a very specific and clear plan to undermine decades of law and make it palatable. Anyway, Mm. Can you explain how trading players works? They can just uproot 80's life and make him move to Texas? Yeah, of course. That part's not even that crazy, bro. That's very normal in all of sports. Like, that's a part of the contract. Obviously, if he's super unhappy there, he'll request a trade and try to get out of it and not perform at his best, and they'll probably get rid of him. But yeah, they can uproot you. But having a healthy trade system does work to keep the league balanced. If it's not done with shady deals like this that always seem to end up favoring the ones for the best ratings. I would like a retraction. Celtics the most championship than the Lakers. Is that true? I thought the Lakers had one more. Am I crazy? Oh, no, it's Celtics with one more. My bad. You're right. You're right. I thought it was Lakers 18. Wrong way around. Cringe, dude. Fuck the Celtics. Fuck the Celtics. Fucking cringe, ass. Can you explain how the amortization point they can claim the treatment? Yeah, it's like they, it's like, when you buy a car, the value of the car drops the second you drive it off the lot. So let's say you spend $100,000 on a car and it's immediately worth $80,000. It's because it just, as you use it more, the value goes down. So you can quantify that on your taxes and claim depreciation. Basically, that the things you bought earlier, you're actually claiming it as losses. So you didn't actually lose 20 grand, but you're saying I lost 20 grand because my car that I bought for work lost value over time, right? It's a kind of an accounting trick. So they do that for everything. They do that for like aging players on their team. They do that for like stadiums. They do that for like anything you can buy as a team. They're like, oh yeah, well, it's worth less this year because it's getting older, so we can claim a loss. And so that's hundreds of millions of dollars they're claiming as a loss in their taxes that they can then use to offset some of their other income to pay less taxes. It's rich people hacks. And it's fucked up. It's one of the, many loopholes you can get really creative with if you have a tax lawyer, which is why it's fucked up, which is why it advantages the rich over regular people. Lakers winning by 20 points. Luka's not playing, right? I think his first game is until. Yeah, he's back on the 6th. Okay, that's what I thought. Wow, they're winning. They're winning by 20 points without AD. That's fucking awesome. It's gonna be a fun time to be a Lakers fan, bro. The Bronny diff? Yeah, it's the Bronny diff. I love gambling, but all these efforts to shove it down my throat is turning me off. Like I should be the master of my own misery. Dude, I agree with you. I like to gamble. I've told many stories of me gambling. I like gambling here and there. I like making a wager, but I fucking hate endless gambling ads. I hate the commodification and I hate gambling on your phone where people can lose all their money in a second, constantly be drained. I hate like parlays where they hide the odds so they can convince some fucking dumb kid to. I think it's terrible. My dad loves to bet on sports. He's done it his whole life, but he does $5 a game with his best friends. He has net lost $10 in his life. They've always net out to 50-50, basically over decades. There's no. He just does it for the fun. He likes to be able to brag. Like, I got you on that one. It's just crazy. People are like using it as a way to actually make money. They think they have some edge. And then there's all these tricks they use to hook you in. But it's been so good for profits for the sports league, so they love it now. They used to hate it. They used to try to regulate it and stop it and ban it, and now they love it. Why didn't they trade for Bronny? As I said, they don't care about winning. If they cared about winning, they would trade Luka for Bronny 1-for-1. And Bronny would carry the Mavs to 10 championships. But they don't care about winning. They only care about sitting on their asses and collecting money. USPS is... Why don't leagues make their own streaming platform to capture all the income from viewers? Extremely difficult and expensive. They've tried it. I think the MLB tried it. They tried making a streaming service. It's hard. People don't want to use your shit. Technical challenges are hard. You have, it's slow or it's down or you don't get it set up correctly or you don't, whatever. People don't want to pay for it. F1 does it. And people have tried it. Don't get me, they've tried it, but like at the end of the day, they have to sell the rights to a bigger platform that has more users. The casual fan is not going to be buying a specific service. It's pretty much only for high end. Can I write off my student loans as depreciating assets since I haven't got a job? I mean, you're joking, but yes. Not a depreciating asset because student loans are not an asset. You can write off the amount you pay on student loans against your income. You can deduct your interest expense. You should be doing that. Yeah, it's not an appreciating asset, but you can. Same with mortgage. If you have rent, you can't deduct that from your taxes. But if you have a mortgage and you're paying interest expense on your mortgage, you can deduct that. It's the way the tax system benefits homeowners over regular renters. It's OP. There's many, many ways our system is set up to benefit certain classes of people, basically the rich and the landowners that just systematically benefit a little bit or a lot over a long period of time. But we're not as bad as Australia. I'll tell you that. I'm a European. I don't ever get gambling ads. Is it legal where you are? I feel like there's spots in Europe where they're also deluged with gambling. UK has tons of gambling ads. Well, maybe Germany doesn't. There you go. Like there's I'll call it soccer. Thank you very much. There's tons of soccer gambling ads in the UK. They do the same thing. They do parlays. They do all that shit where you can. It's football. Australian gambling. I mean, Australia is like the gambling country. I don't know the stat, but like Australia's the most gambling addicted country per person, per capita of anywhere in the world. They have the largest gambling losses. They have insane gambling addiction. They got the pokies. They have like slot machines at every fucking place called pokies. Lucky. You're jealous? You wish you had more slot machines per square mile? Fucking lucky. Lucky ass Australia gets to gamble all the time. Did you see Chibley talking about his gambling phone plan in New Zealand? No, I never heard about that. I've never heard about that. Please, yeah, find me the clip. Librarian, I need the clip. Librarian, I need the clip. Librarian, please. Please, I need that Chibley clip. Oh, we got it. Let's see.
Did you guys, speaking of slot machines, did you hear about how Chibley gets data? I couldn't believe the story when he told it. I'm going to pause, even though it's an idle game, just to make sure I explain it right. So Chibley paid for his phone outright with cash, right? He's not on an amortized like payment plan, and he doesn't have a phone plan. So essentially, his phone bill monthly is $0. Now, because he has no phone plan, he gets no data, no texting, no phone calls, etc. What he does to get data, I swear to you, this is what he said, which I'm assuming it's real. Every day he goes to his telecom app that is like who sold him the phone, who he's got his service through, and they have a slot machine, and you spin the slot machine and it presents you with 3 daily deals. So sometimes you'll spin it and it'll be like 250 minutes of calling within New Zealand for the next 7 days for $2.99. And he's like, swipe, I don't want it. But eventually you go through like enough of those unlimited texting for 6 days for $4, blah, 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 blah. Eventually you'll get to like 1 gigabyte of data per day for $1.99. And then he buys that and he has data for 1 week. Him telling me the story with a straight face was blowing me away because it's the funniest fucking thing that he's ever said, man. He doesn't know if he's going to have data day to day. He has to pull a slot machine that the company provides to possibly buy data. Like that's crazy, man.
That's so fucking incredible. That is the future. So I don't know if anybody old heads remember. I had a short story that I wanted written. I explained the idea of the short story to chat, and then some people on the Reddit wrote the idea of it, but it was a short story set in the future, or it starts out with a woman receiving her paycheck, and it's a you spin for it. It was the day she gets the golden paycheck. That was the idea. Because every day you'd get your paycheck and you'd spin, and you either get like a gray paycheck, which is less than what you get less sub-minimum wage. But every, 1 in 25, you'd get a golden paycheck, and that's a big day. That's like 100x. You get a big day. And that was the idea of the story. It was an idea where everything is gambling. So you work your day, you spin the wheel at the end of the day and see what kind of paycheck you get. And obviously, on average, the person's getting paid sub-minimum wage. But a few people win, so everyone's like, oh, well, it could be me, so it's worth it. It's gambling civilization. Anyway, then she gets the 100x paycheck, and then it's following her through the rest of her day. And like, for example, like you gamble for the medicine you get, whether you get like the placebo or the real thing. You go to the hospital and you put in the money. You can either, you can buy it outright, too expensive, or you can spin for it and get a placebo or the real thing. And it was like, dude, that story that you just told is so close to my fictional, insane, dystopian Black Mirror episode that I was pitching. That's real life. That's crazy. I just think I think gambling's so unique because it is just a human brain weakness that almost everybody has to a different degree. They have some part of your brain is like, oh, shiny light color, gamble, I have a chance to win, dopamine goes up. Some people have it terribly, right? And so we can't get it out of our brains. We're not going to evolve out the weakness to gambling in less than a millennia or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like this exists in our brains. We can't get rid of it. It's part of us as a species. And we've gotten better and better at exploiting it. Whether it's card packs and card games in 90s to, loot boxes and gotcha in video games now, to now entering the real world and gambling and parlays. And like, we're just better and better and better at constantly exploiting our dopamine rush from possibly gambling. It's fucking crazy. Ghibli gave proof. Let's see. What's this? Dude, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy, dude. What a hit. What a rush. Yeah, dude. Someone mentioned this. I didn't talk about this. Dude, all of the new shopping apps, like Temu, but other like Pinduoduo in China and all these, they've like built in gambling into the app itself to buying things from Amazon, basically. It goes like, and it gives you like little hearts and baskets and chests and things to get early shopping deals. And it's like they're constantly gamifying it to trick your fucking brain. Ghibli, what's up? Good luck on the spins, brother. Good luck on the spins. I hope you get the data pack. Thank you so much. I live off them. This is so wild. Dude, imagine going to the gas station and it's like, well, I can't afford gas, so I'll go for the spin. And you do the spin and it's like, do I get 1 drop of gas or do I get a liter? And you're just feeding money into you can't afford enough to get there, so you're feeding money in the machine hoping you hit it so you can get home. That's crazy. It's a dystopia. Do we talk about USPS on taking Chinese packages? I talked about it before. I talked about it before the news broke. Because we already talked about de minimis packages being removed. There used to be a loophole. De minimis, I guess means what? The small? The minimal? Which means that if you're under $600, dude, I need a thicker pencil. Everyone always tells me that. Thicker pencil. $600. If you're under $600, tariffs don't apply. No tariffs. That was the former rule. And that's how Temu and Alibaba and all these places got around the previous tariffs, where if you would buy some cheap ass shit on Temu and they would airship it in and pay no tariff, no fee at all, and ship it through USPS. It would take longer to get to you, but you got it for way cheaper. That was their plan. But now they got rid of this rule, so it doesn't work anymore. And so they're not going to ship the packages. New news just dropped. I guess they're just canceling all the packages altogether. But I mean, it doesn't like Temu's going to stop sending them no matter what, because they're not going to pay those fees. Fucks up their whole price model. What do you think about Bernie's speech in Congress? I haven't seen it. Do you want to link it to me? Unless it's an older one. I mean, it looks like this article is about the de minimis rule. Even the pause seems like it's related to that. So I don't think it's a much different story. Have you... what's this? A link? This is Bernie's speech. Bernard Sanders. Oligarchy, authoritarianism, and kleptocracy in America. This is 8 hours ago. Shit, let's watch it, bro. Bernard Sanders Tell me what you think about oligarchy and kleptocracy in America. It does feel relevant as we talk about billionaires divvying up sports for their larger casino goals.
The Trump administration is moving this country very aggressively into an authoritarian society where the rule of law and our Constitution are being ignored and undermined in order to give more power to the White House and the billionaires who now control our government.
The big example, maybe he talks about this, but the big example is Elon, who just wasn't elected. You know, like, I'm no fan of Elon. Mostly for his stupid business decisions. I don't like how he runs Tesla. I don't like how he fucking wasted $44 billion on Twitter. I think he's just dumb. No fan of Elon for that reason. But he can do what he wants on his own. But he's not an elected official. And he's even Trump's word. I mean, Trump had a speech, not a speech. He was asked the question on it today, and he said, Elon can only give suggestions, and whether or not we keep them is up to us. Some will do, some we won't. This is Trump's exact words. But Elon is doing things unilaterally. He's cutting funding for things. The idea was he would be able to write a suggestion that something that should be cut. He's just cutting it. He's locking people out of their offices. He's like, he has no right to do any of this. If Congress approved the funding for something, Elon can't say, no, we were cutting it. The president can't even say that. I mean, but at least the president could like write an executive order and let them get into a legal battle over it. But Elon definitely can't do it. It's crazy. I mean, it's not in the norms for 200 plus years of American history for an unelected, not even born in America citizen to be trampling all over constitutional norms and changing rules. And again, you know, Doge is, it has no authority to do the things he's doing, but they're just kind of like, I don't know, blitzing it. They're just like doing it. And they're going so fast. And again, the fucking U.S. Democratic Party is in absolute shambles. It's, you know, it's a joke. And they have no ability to mount any sort of defense. There's no like counterbalancing effort. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's watch the speech.
The Trump administration is moving this country very rapidly toward a kleptocracy, where the function of government is not to serve the needs of ordinary people, but to enrich those who are in power. Mr. President, I think that today is a very good day.
Sorry, someone said, finally catching my first stream. It's crazy. It's like one huge Big A clip. Your brain is so cooked. What do you think a clip is up front? What do you think it's called a clip? What are you fucking talking about? How does your brain come to that conclusion? Year of kindness? No, you're right. That was actually a really wise point. I never thought of it like that. I guess my stream is really like one huge clip. Yeah. You know what I did is I based my stream on Big A clips. I saw those clips and I said, what if I did that but longer? That was my plan. I was like, what if I take that, those seem to be working, and I do that longer, and then I'll have a whole new genius. Anyway, Big A longs, we call it.
To recall what one of our great presidents said at Gettysburg in November of 18...
Bro, everybody quotes Lincoln. Boo. Quote FDR. Quote somebody with some swag. Quote Teddy, dude. Carry a big stick. Quote Bush. Watch this drive. It'd be so dope if Bernie said it. To quote one of our greatest presidents, Now watch this drive. And then he hits a fucking golf ball right into fucking, I don't know, fucking JD Vance's face or whatever. That would have been fucking sick. I was going to say Trump, but Trump's not in this room.
1963. Looking out at a battlefield where thousands of Union soldiers had just sacrificed their lives in the defense of freedom and the ending of slavery, Abraham Lincoln famously stated, and I quote, "The world will
Luka,
no longer
Doncic.
remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did, the soldiers did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated."
Bernie looks like he was there when this was said. I like Bernie. And the reason I like Bernie Sanders, not because I agree with every single policy position of his, but because he has been consistent for decades. Consistent with his actions, with his voice, with his messaging. It's so rare in a politician that even if I disagree with him on some things, I respect it. I respect it so deeply because what bothers me so deeply about the time we live in, the 2025s, the 2020, the post-COVID, is that nobody is held to their words from even a day ago. Nobody's held to their word. No, people's opinions and attitudes and alliances, and they shift at all times. They say they won't do something, and then they'll do it anyway. They say they won't work with this guy, they work with him. There's no... I'm not saying no one can ever change their mind, but it needs to be with rationale and it just seems like people change with the wind. There's no consequences for lying on something you previously said. It's really an era of absolutely zero consequence. So that's why I admire Bernie Sanders, because you can find speeches of him from like 1998, from earlier. You can find some old ass speeches of Bernie Sanders where he's saying the exact same thing. And that's rare. It's just a rare thing. That's why I give him the benefit of the doubt on most things and why I like to hear him speak. However, the second thing I want to say is, someone made a joke about his age. He looks like he was there when this fucking speech was given, when Lincoln's speech was given. It's unfortunate that we have so many politicians who are so old. It seems wild there's not somebody similar to this who's 40, 30, even maybe 20 years younger. Do you know what I'm saying? In the age of where most Americans are. If that's only if he's right, not to change their mind based on new evidence. It's only if he's right. People are obviously not to change their mind based on new evidence. 100%. I don't disagree with that. That's not what's happening. And we're all aware that's not what's happening. Okay? People are just saying what's convenient for them at the time and then shifting with the wind. It's not that evidence changed, it's that their circumstances changed of what will benefit the most. So I find that to be the distasteful part, especially with politicians, because the idea with a politician is that you're not electing someone who's going to try and maximize their personal benefit. You're electing someone who promises a certain ideals. They stand for something. And then you put them in the office to continue to stand for that thing, not to shift, because, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's unfortunate. That's why I find it distasteful. He has more hair than me. It's close. I'll say me and Bernie are in a close hair off. But we both have more hair than Aiden, so it's no problem.
Here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great...
Isn't Lena Khan somewhat similar to what you're saying? Yes. That's why I hope Lena Khan runs for office somewhere. It would be my greatest disappointment. It would make me so sad if Lena Khan goes to work for Google or something. That's like what every other FTC chair would do. They'd leave office after stopping monopolies, and then they would go work with a monopoly to help them stop getting investigated. I hope she doesn't do it, man. I hope she runs for something, she's been she's young, but she's been incredibly consistent on her beliefs and what she's worked for in her actions. Oh, also, second thing is, it's also really nice when a politician's voting record matches their words. Because that's another problem that we have so much in this country is where people just say shit and obviously no one checks. No one checks. Literally no one checks. And so anyone can say whatever they want, whatever sounds popular, but then when they're actually in that room and they have to make a choice that could impact legislation, they do something different, and that's frustrating too. It just makes it so impossible to find out what you're getting, because even what someone runs on might not be what you get. So yeah.
Task remaining before us, the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain. And this is how he concluded: that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Damn, Bernie is even more pissed than I am about the Luka trade. And I respect that. You can tell he is fucking furious that, like, these billionaires are fucking messing with the game like this. And I think that's admirable. I thought I was mad about it, but I guess I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm okay. But he clearly
shall not perish from the earth. Mr. President, I fear very much that under President Trump, we are not seeing a government of the people, by the people, for the people, but rather a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class. And what is really...
One thing I'll disagree with is I don't think... Here's what I'll say. I think an inconvenient truth, even though I'm on Bernie's side, I think an inconvenient truth that people aren't saying enough is that Trump won the popular vote. He won the election, which means if he does things he said he was going to do, that is not for the people. That people may not know the outcomes of these things, but he won the election. He has a right to do these. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how democracy works. It's not authoritarian to do them. The problem I have with it is when somebody like Elon Musk, who is unelected, who was not the winner of the popular vote, can come in and run roughshod over, 200 years of constitutional law and do things that he was not given the authority to do. Even by Trump, he wasn't given the authority to do. But that's just illegal. There's no power in that. That is an oligarchy. That is a kleptocracy. That is his only power is that he threw a bunch of money at helping Trump get into office. People didn't choose him for that. They didn't give that to him. Those laws are for a reason. And, there's checks and balances for a reason. Again, I will say this, it's up in the air. It's up to interpretation, where the exact line is drawn between the executive branch, which Trump heads, or Congress, or judiciary. And by the way, Republicans won all three, okay? They got all three. So they should be able to do things within the normal law. They should be able to do things the normal way, but they're not doing it that way. They're doing it with the executive writing executive orders and Elon Musk with no authority at all, just running roughshod over everything. And that's odd. That's out of character. That's fucked up. So that's where I, am on it, where it's like, at the end of the day, if people feel very strongly that we need to, I don't know, deport immigrants. I don't agree with that. But if they feel very strongly and they vote a president to do that and they do that, I can voice my opposition to it, but it's not oligarchy to do it. It's not, that's just democracy. People want something and do you understand? It's legal. I think it's fine. But when you do things that are outside of the scope of that, when you like try to end birthright citizenship when that's in the Constitution, when you, again, have Elon Musk do things he has no authority to do, when you write executive orders that cover things that you shouldn't have authority over, that's the areas where I get like, this is fucked. It's not, you can't do that. We've had hundreds of years of a system that has largely worked to keep stability. That's where I stand. So,
interesting is that none of this is happening behind closed doors. It's not being done in secret. It's right out there for everybody to see. Several weeks ago, Donald Trump was inaugurated for a second term as president. Standing right behind him were the three richest men in America, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg.
Terrible blood rotation.
Combined, these three men are worth $920 billion. These three men own more wealth than the bottom half of American society, 170 million people. Three guys, 170 million people. And I should point out,
they earned it.
And this should tell you exactly where we are going as a nation. These three men, wealthiest three in America, have become some $232 billion richer since Trump was elected a few weeks ago. Three guys, $232 billion richer since Trump was elected. Mr. President, this is how an oligarchic system works. Elon Musk, the wealthiest person in the world and now a key part of the Trump administration, spent over $277 million to get Trump elected. In other words, within a corrupt campaign finance system, which allows billionaires to spend as much as they want, he helped buy the election for Mr. Trump. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, the second and third wealthiest people in our country, both kicked $1 million
in the world, I
each
think,
into Trump's inauguration fund. And let us remember that Mr. Bezos, who among other things owns the Washington Post, rescinded the endorsement of that paper for Kamala Harris just before the election. Mr. Bezos was showing early on that he was willing to bend the knee for Donald Trump. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder and CEO of Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, agreed to settle a lawsuit with Trump for $25 million. These three multi-billionaires are working with Trump for one very simple reason.
Please don't be money.
They understand.
Please don't be money.
That Trump's policies are designed to make the very wealthiest people in this country even richer. Since Trump's election, Mr.
money.
Musk has become $154 billion richer. Not bad in a couple of weeks' time. He earned a great investment. He only spent a couple of $100 million on the election, and now he's 100.
Yeah, but that's only like 89 cents per tweet that he writes. You know what I'm saying? Like, he earned that money. He had to tweet his way there. So I feel like Bernie's not respecting game. Bro put in the hours. Yeah, exactly.
Richer. Mr. Bezos has become $35 billion richer, and Mr. Zuckerberg has become $43 billion richer. Mr. President, I am concerned not only about the growing movement toward oligarchy in this country, but I am deeply worried that under the leadership of President Trump, we are moving rapidly towards authoritarianism. And all over this country, people are alarmed and shocked by what they have seen in the last several weeks. Just a few examples, just a few. Last week, President Trump attempted to suspend all federal grants and loans in direct violation of the U.S. Constitution and federal law. As every third grader in America knows, or I hope knows, the power of the purse in the United States belongs to Congress, not the president. Yes, the president can recommend legislation to Congress. The president can veto legislation that Congress has passed. But he does not have the power to unilaterally terminate funding and legislation that has been passed by the U.S. Congress.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big point. Like, Congress votes on it. That's the whole point. We have congressional representatives. By the way, Congress is Republican. Like, he should be able to work a deal to get what he wants through. You can't just skip the step where the representatives vote on it. And if they've already passed it, you can't just say, nah.
That is a dangerous and blatantly unconstitutional act. And I should add that Trump's blocking of federal funding would have had a horrific impact on millions of Americans who utilize programs like Medicaid, Head Start, community health centers, Meals on Wheels, homeless veterans programs, and many, many other initiatives. Tens of millions of Americans, including some of the most vulnerable in our country, were impacted by that decision. But that's not all.
Okay.
A few days ago, Trump fired 17 inspectors general, independent government watchdogs that were created by Congress in the wake of the Watergate scandal to prevent the abuse of power by the executive branch. Last week, President Trump fired a member of the National Labor Relations Board, and in so doing, effectively neutered the only federal agency in America with the authority to hold corporations accountable for illegal union busting and to protect the constitutional right of millions of workers who want to join unions in order to earn better wages, working conditions, and benefits. Not only is that move blatantly illegal, it is exactly what Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla, and Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, have been fighting for months. They don't like unions. And what Mr. Trump has given them is the opportunity.
Bernie Sanders, I trust you on plenty of things. But if you're telling me that Jeff Bezos doesn't like unions, you're smoking crack. He fucking loves unions, bro. They're his employees. He loves them. It allows him to make better deals. Who needs a union when you're a family? I guess that's true, too. Did Bernie ever consider the fact that maybe they want to fight unions because unions stop workers from having a good time? That unions stop workers from being part of the corporate family? You ever think about that? Unions create a two-tier system where some employees are fighting for rights and others just simply just do their job, you know? Bronny made his first NBA three. Bernie, get off the screen! Bronny James made an NBA three. Please give me the link. Give me the link. I gotta see it. Holy shit. Bronny James made an NBA three. He is the GOAT.
When the Zunisha wasn't here because
you linked me nothing.
Raves about his workout.
Holy shit, you found it.
think. James for three, looking for his first in the league, and that's it. His first made three. Bronny James on the board after he missed his.
Bro, Luka in the stands clapping for him. I can't. I'm covering him. Look, it's Luka. Luka clapping for Bronny James. My dreams are real. They say dreams aren't possible. I'll tell you this. Under Joe Biden, I never got Luka Doncic at a Lakers home game clapping for Bronny James. I'll tell you that. Bernie Sanders. Let me watch the rest of this.
To make it much, much harder for workers to organize in their companies. President Trump also illegally fired members of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the only independent commission in our country that protects workers against discrimination in the workforce. Further, and what should upset every American, no matter whether you're conservative, moderate, progressive, is that in direct violation of the Constitution and federal law, Trump is intimidating the media with lawsuits against ABC, CBS, Meta, and the Des Moines Register. His FCC is now threatening to investigate PBS.
I'm not intimidated, Bernie Sanders. I put out at least 3 Big A clips where I made fun of Donald Trump. Come at me. All right? I'm unintimidated. You can't stop me. You're gone. Streamers are next. New media, baby.
And PR. What Trump is essentially saying to every media outlet in America.
You are not mainstream media, Lil Lunk. I'll tell you one thing. My stream's not big enough to be either stream media other than a stream. But I'll tell you one thing. The mainstream media is not NBC. It's not CNN. It's not even Fox. It's fucking podcasts. It's fucking... The mainstream media is Joe Rogan, TikTok, Aiden Ross, Asmongold, that's the mainstream media. I'm not even kidding. It is bigger, significantly bigger, significantly more viewers, significantly more impact, significantly more people get their news than it is. It's Talk Tua. Yeah, it's social media. It's just not. It is not those people still complain about the fucking mainstream media. Like, who cares, dude? These people have no reach or authority or power anymore. Raid song? Is this a bit? No, it's not a bit. The numbers, look at the numbers, dude. They don't have viewership. It's just not. Fox News sets the take for old white people in America. Fox News is still the biggest of the dying legacy media brands, but Fox News does not set the take as much as Joe Rogan does. Joe Rogan and a bunch of other, like, those people still have more influence. He gets more millions of viewers per episode than even Tucker Carlson after leaving Fox has a bigger reach. Tucker's bigger than Fox, yeah.
If you say or do anything that is critical of me, that displeases me, you may be subject to a lawsuit or a federal investigation. If that is not a direct attack on the First Amendment, on the U.S. Constitution and free speech in our country, I don't know what is. But that is not all. Elon Musk and his unelected minions at Doge have forced out officials at the Treasury Department.
Bernie said Doge, buy Doge, buy Doge, buy Doge. Bernie and Elon both support Dogecoin, confirmed. It's mooning. It's a buy signal, folks. This is your chance to get in before it hits the fucking moon and get life-changing money.
And illegally shut down USAID, a program which, among other things, helps feed and provide medical help to starving and desperate children all over the world. Presidents, much less unelected billionaires, do not have the unilateral right to shut down federal agencies established by Congress. And when we talk about the very dangerous movement towards authoritarianism that we are seeing in this country now, let us not forget Trump's pardoning of the January 6th insurrectionists who injured 174 police officers.
Sorry, Bernie, but free squeaks.
Right outside this floor. Even worse, not only did he pardon those people, but Trump is undermining the FBI by actually investigating the agents there who helped bring these violent criminals to justice. Imagine that. Pardoning the people who broke the law and investigating the people who upheld the law. That is not what America is supposed to be about. And Mr. President, under Trump, we are rapidly moving toward a kleptocracy as well. Just before the president was inaugurated, he and his wife launched their own cryptocurrency coins, giving them the potential to earn many billions of dollars. If Wall Street CEOs tried to bribe the president with a bag full of money, that would be illegal. That's against the law.
Sure.
But now they don't have to do that. Today, if a multi-billionaire, the head of a foreign country, wants to curry favor with the president, all they have to do is buy his cryptocurrency coins, and when they do that, they are directly enriching Mr. Trump. So, Mr. President, the question that millions of Americans are asking.
Dude, I truly hate the coin. I know to some people it's not a big deal. There's just no excusing it. I hate the coin. I hate the Melania coin. I hate it. I think it's so I don't know. It's so nakedly self-serving. Not even like the veneer of like helping anyone else. I just don't like it. It just rubs me the wrong way, like on a deep level. I think it's bad. I think it's just bad. You know, it's funny. It's not like I think 100% Bernie's right. It can be used for corruption. It's very easy to be used for corruption. There's no way to investigate or trace it or anything. But even on its own, it's just fleecing a lot of people using the office of the presidency. It like degrades the office of the presidency. I don't like it. And again, there's no possible way for there not to be a bunch of losers. Just with the way the coin works, with the way it is officially designated as a meme, so it's not used for, it's never going to have utility. It has no goal. It is only designed to rob people. That is the only thing it can do. It makes me sad, not just because Trump did it or the president did it. It makes me sad for our society. It's like, it's such a This should have been laughed off. Like, this should have been like, what the we just rolled with it. I hate that. It's like a bad sign because there's no upside to anyone but him. So I don't like it.
Is given the move toward oligarchy, given the move toward authoritarianism, given the movement toward kleptocracy, where do we go from here? What should we as Americans be doing? And let me tell you what I think and what most Americans think. And that is, instead of moving toward an economy which is designed to benefit the very richest people in our country, we have got to create an economy and a government that works for all of us, not just for Mr. Musk or Mr. Bezos or Mr. Zuckerberg. Mr. President, at a time of massive wealth and income inequality, we have never had more income and wealth inequality than we have had right now. It is beyond stupidity to provide more tax breaks to the very richest people in our country and then to pay for those tax breaks by cutting back on Medicaid and other programs desperately needed by working families all across this country.
Don't even cut them. Just print the difference. Just steal the money from everyone's wallet through inflation. Just fucking print it. Just borrow and print and increase the debt. We'll do both. We'll do everything for everybody.
That is what we should not be doing. But let me take a moment to tell you what we should be doing. At a time when 85 million Americans are uninsured or underinsured in our broken healthcare system, we have got to do what every other major country on earth does, and that is guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, not a privilege. That's what we've got to do. At a time when 1 out of 4 Americans cannot afford the outrageously high prices that the pharmaceutical industry charges, we have got to end the absurdity of the American people paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We have got to cut the cost of medicine in this country in half, making it comparable with what the rest of the world is paying. Mr. President, the federal minimum wage today is $7.25 an hour. That is a starvation wage. Well, 60% of our people, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. We must raise that minimum wage to a living wage, at least $17 an hour. If you work 40 hours a week in the richest country on earth, you should not be living in poverty. Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos want to make it harder for workers to join unions. Well, we have got to do exactly the opposite, make it easier for workers to join unions by passing the PRO Act. At a time when we need the best educated workforce in the world, we need to have the best public schools in the world. And among other things, that means we need to substantially raise teachers' salary. We need to attract the best and the brightest young.
Hey, someone in the chat said this loser takes millions from pharma. I just want to bring that up because I saw a comment of that, and so I looked into it. I wanted to see, it's like a talking point. I don't know, we'll look into it. So I checked, and it's not true. It's not true. Not only is his voting record like actively against big pharma, like he's spoken against it many times and voted against it, but like what it is whenever you donate to a political candidate, like if I donated $20 to Bernie Sanders, I have to put my industry on there. So at the time I would have put semiconductors or marketing if I worked at NVIDIA, whatever. If you get a lot of people to do that, it'll say $1 million from semiconductors, but it's all from $200 or less donations from regular people. So it was just a bunch of like nurses. It was like people that worked in the healthcare industry all giving him individual donations that added up to, I think, 1.28 million or something. But there was a low individual average. And then, but it adds up to, so it's like 1.2 million from healthcare industry, But it wasn't. Anyway, I think it's a very misleading statement. And you can check his voting record. Like if he was like saying this stuff and then he was actually voting for helping Big Pharma, it would be like, all right, well, maybe he's got to stick, but he doesn't. He doesn't do that. So I think it's a pretty disingenuous thing. If you want to hit him on something, look at his hairline. Like if you want to make fun of Bernie, he's got a target right here. But hitting him for his fucking, for this fake lie that he's like in the pocket of Big Pharma is like totally made up. It's like super mudslinging. Again, you know, a politician can take money from Big Pharma, say, nah, I didn't, and be fine. We have no consequences in this society. So Bernie has actually lost a lot of money by not doing that, by not taking over $200 donations for a long time. Like he's sacrificed. And to do all that and then be told that you're not doing that is very frustrating, because that means even someone who like does the hard work of like going without the extra political money can just be smeared with that brush. It's fucked up. I think it's fucked up. I think it's not a cool thing that you said, brother.
People into education, and we do that, among other things, by making sure that no teacher in America earns less than $60,000 a year. We also radically reform our broken child care system so the little kids in this country get the quality care they need and the workers there are adequately compensated. Mr. President, all over this country, from Vermont to LA, we have a major housing crisis. And it's not just the 800,000 Americans who are homeless. It's millions of working families who are spending 40, 50, or 60% of their limited incomes on housing. Instead of spending almost $1 trillion a year on a wasteful and bloated Pentagon budget, we have got to build millions of units of low-income and affordable housing. And when we do that, we put large numbers of American workers to work at good-paying union jobs. Mr. President, I have heard time and again from Mr. Trump's supporters that the president won the election and he has been given this huge mandate, just an overwhelming mandate to do whatever he wants. Well, no president has the right to move us to oligarchy, authoritarianism, or kleptocracy. But more important, let us not forget that while Trump did win this election, he actually received 4 million votes fewer votes than Biden did in 2020 when Biden won the election. So here we are.
Caught. I stuffed 4 million votes for Biden in 2020, though. So that's like, do I admit that now or do I let that? I went to the ballot. I wrote it 4 million times and I thought it'd be funny. I thought he would only get those 4 million votes. I thought no one else was going to vote for Biden, so it would be like a joke. But then he ended up winning, so it was, I don't know. There was a whole bunch of drama about it. It was a good bit, though.
Where do we go? What do we do? I think now is the time for the American people to come together, to not allow those who want to divide us up by the color of our skin or our sexual orientation or where we were born. That's what they want to do. They want to divide us up. Now is the time for us to come together like never before and make certain we do not move toward oligarchy, make certain we do not move toward authoritarianism or a kleptocracy. And most importantly, in the richest country in the history of the world, we must understand that we have the capability of providing a decent life for all of our people. We can do that.
That's a good platform, but where does he stand on DEI chins in video games? Is he against them? Because if so, I'll support you, Bernie. I definitely want lower cost housing. I want health care. I want people to have unions and have a livable wage. But there better not be fucking I basically don't want any women in my video games, but if they're in there, they better have like double D's and it better be extremely sexual. That's the only way it'll be fair in a video game. Why does he support? That's an insane clip. Yeah, put that on Clip Channel. No irony. I think every character should look like Kratos.
When we stand together.
Nothing straighter than that, by the way. I want every character to be a hot dude. That's how you know the game is good. If the main character is a hot, chatted dude. That's what I want.
And we don't let folks divide us up. And with that, Mr. President, I would yield the floor.
Good speech, Bernie. It's funny. He tweaked some of that to this unique situation, but he's been so consistent. He said that for a very long time. I appreciate Bernie saying what needs to be said, but it feels so hollow. Even if people band together, then what? It's because people don't care about the vast majority think. Even they're more brazen about it. I am less doomer about this than some people, and I'll explain to you why. But I do think people don't react on any of this stuff until they feel the consequences. So until he does something that fucks up the stock market or loses people their jobs, or, we enter a recession, or until there's a consequence, it's all just talk. Nobody cares. Everyone, it's all a TV show. It's a game show to people. So there has to be something that happens. And then I think people's attitudes change. I mean, this is not like Trump's the first person in history to, America's had a lot of different leaders, and we've had a lot of different times, and people that they thought they had a mandate end up not having it. So I would urge you to hold judgment on all of the people of the earth until some of the consequences come in. And then make your case. And then I think people will be more receptive to it. Anyway, let's watch the CoffeeZilla video about Enron.
I got scammed by
Enron? Scheduled post from 1980. Enron didn't collapse till 2001, but you get the idea. Yes. Scheduled post from 2001. He got scammed by Enron. This is a quote from Working Families investing in a top 10 stock in 2002.
I got scammed by Enron. That's right. I'm not afraid to admit it. Fool me once.
Ugh, yuck. Look at that horrendous hoodie. Why would they put the logo in the middle where it's so gaudy and gauche? Wait a minute. They gotta put it here, like on this stylish Enron quarter zip. Put it right there like an actual piece of corporate merch that someone might actually wear if they worked on the company. Wow, failcodes.co. A stylish, classy, soft, comfortable quarter zip? Why put it in the middle, Enron?
Once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Make a YouTube video. Guys, these people told me they weren't going to launch a meme coin. They swore up and down. Oh, CoffeeZilla, we're such big fans. That's what they told me. Just so you put out a video. Remember, we did a little void on them. They said, we're not doing a coin. All coins on the market are unaffiliated with us. We will be making steps in the energy sector soon we are quite excited about. Well, what's the next step? Enron coin. Look, I'm going to spare you the cringy launch video. It's exactly like the other announcement they did, just full of buzzwords. You guys know that this is supposed to be performance art by the same guys who were behind the Birds Aren't Real project. The distinction is that was a project mocking conspiracy like theorists and trying to make like a semi-plausible thing that you can't disprove, like birds aren't real, haha, very funny.
The United States government killed all real birds and replaced them with drones that spy on us.
The same guy, Connor Gatos, decided to come out with Enron coin.
Hi, I'm Connor, and 4 years ago, I purchased Enron for $275.
Where
That's all it cost? 4 years ago? Wait, I should have bought it. I should have fucking bought it, dude. 4 years ago, I was streaming. I was selling hats 4 years ago, probably, or thinking about it. I was just wearing the hat. God. I don't know what to think about this. Except if I was this confused, I would probably go to failedcoast.co and buy a stylish hat to clear my mind. That's what I would do. I would go and get one of these awesome two-tone Enron hats, and that would probably make me feel better no matter what I'm feeling.
Parodying scammers, but in the process is also scamming. This goes back to what we've long talked about, which is that you can't ironically scam people. It just is scamming. It's the same exact thing. We saw this with the Boogie 2988 meme coin, where he's like, hey, I'm ironically copying Andrew Tate. I'm ironically doing the same thing. He did daddy token, scammed people. I'm doing fatty token. What's the joke? Like, what's the funny thing? Insiders will still grift. Insiders will still scam people. Where's the joke? Oh, you got us.
So, I mean, the joke is they got scammed, I guess.
So, obviously, look, I want to talk about this, but let's just hit the highlights right now. The top snipers of this coin have already made $5 million and $4 million respectively on this coin. The coin's down something like 80% from launch. It's a complete disaster, and of course, I could have told you this was going to happen. Anyone could have told you this was going to happen. Meanwhile, the Enron team is sort of in panic mode because they put out their thing. They saved 90% of the tokens for themselves and put 10% in the liquidity pool. That's worse than even Trump coin. A 7-day locked liquidity, which they've had to walk back because they're getting mocked by everyone. Like, everyone sees through this whole, like, oh, it's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Like, make snipers $8 million as a joke, as a meme. Here they have put up, oh, we had feedback about a 7-day lockup. We hear you. We've updated it to 6 months, followed by a 12-month linear vest. That represents our long-term commitment. And then here's the thing they all say. Unfortunately, snipers got in early, but fortunately, they're gone now forever. Says who? I love that. That's what the Hawk people did too. They're like, hey, snipers got us. We could have predicted they were going to get us and take people's money, but they got us. Now they're gone forever. No, they're not. There's still a lot of unsold tokens. So anyway, it's just ridiculous, but I wanted to talk about this whole ironic thing. Like, oh, we're just, hey, dude, it's a joke. I'm scamming you as a joke. Don't you think that's funny? Don't you think that's really great? A great meme? So yeah, I thought it was really cringe, kind of disappointing to see the guy behind kind of a legitimately funny project do what is Not
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, until this point, I thought they were doing like they had the Enron egg and everything, and I was like, all right, it's just a funny project. It's cool. Keeps Enron back in the ether.
actually that funny. And, you know, I already tried to warn these guys. And they lied to me, which, you know, I'm just going to say, finding out Enron lied to you is like finding out Santa Claus isn't real. If you can't trust Enron,
who can you trust?
Who can you trust?
Exactly.
Now, I did confront Connor on this. This is the Enron CEO. I said, what are you doing? Ironic scamming is still scamming. He says, first, thanks for the support. Saw you wearing a hoodie in your last video. How dare you, sir? You tricked me into this. You tricked me by saying you were launching a meme coin. Secondly, I bought the trademark in 2021 and spent the last few years fighting and clawing to resurrect the brand in a way that supports our long-term vision. After a period of deliberation and realizing the window to execute was narrowing, I decided that taking on partners was the long-term play. Did those partners force you to launch a meme coin? I don't understand this. These aren't insiders. These are partners that believe in the long-term vision. Again, is this the performance?
Is this the performance? Is it a joke? What are you talking? There's no long-term vision. There's no product. The Enron egg's not real. Is he playing into it, but still?
Art project part? I don't get it. Is he serious? Does he actually think resurrecting Enron is a viable strategy? I don't know what this guy's on about. I envision a world where Enron is powering hundreds and thousands of homes across the country, and with our rep filing in Texas being approved, we are closer than ever. I said, I can't tell if you're running a bit or not. Birds of real ain't stuff. It's funny because it's harmless. Making snipers $8.9 million at token launch and reserving 90% of a token for yourself isn't harmless. Money comes from somewhere. And then, like, why'd you lie about the launch? He says, we made the decision in the last few weeks that this path would enable us to achieve the long-term vision. Just hoping the long-term vision can be seen through all the noise. This is much bigger than a coin. Bro, noise? You created the noise. I hope everyone can see through all this controversy that you created.
Yeah, just like walking around the room and stealing $20 out of everyone's pocket and saying like, I hope we can focus on my speech instead of just the fact that I... Yeah, okay, I stole your money, but like, can we stop with the controversy and like focus on what I'm talking about? The words.
What? That's a small part of the bigger vision. It's much bigger than a coin. Would be happy to send you information about our retail energy business in Texas. Bruh, what are you talking about? He's really saying, like, I had to launch a coin for our retail energy business. This has to be a joke, right? This guy can't be serious. Like, you got to be serious. We're Enron, serious energy business. I guess he's just taking the piss. I don't know. I honestly can't tell if this is a bit or not. If it is, it's dumb. If it's serious, it's dumb. Both ways, it's like, it's kind of like bad. It's like being like, hey, I had to rob a bank to start my energy drink company. You don't understand the long-term vision. I hope you guys can forgive me robbing the bank for my long-term vision. I had to get this.
That would be 50 times more based. Somebody robbing a bank to start a juvie competitor would be way more based than buying the sacred and sacrosanct Enron logo and using it for a filthy crypto token. Yuck. Is there some failed nation state you could buy the rights to? If I made a new company merch logo, it would be Evergrande, probably. And it would have cool Chinese characters on it. I think that'd be a fucking sick-ass hoodie. But we have no plan for that right now. How about FTX? The problem with FTX, I've realized, FTX is so recent and so many people are still crypto bros that no one knows it's ironic. If you wear an FTX hat, which I have, people think you're sponsored by FTX or you actually used FTX or they don't, there's no irony to it. So it's not good merch. Only dumbasses think that? Dude, it happened. I was like, maybe I did a video with Lud or something. I don't remember what, but I had an FTX hat on, and there was a bunch of comments. People that didn't know me. It's like, oh my God, Lamau, that aged poorly. This guy's fucking hat. Nice FTX sponsorship, idiot. And it was like, all right, bro. My wife made it for me as a joke. You didn't take SBF money? I would have. SBF, reach out. But he doesn't have any money. He's broke. He's broke and he's in jail. Sucker. Dude, SBF fumbled the absolute bag. If he had just held out a little bit longer, he'd be thriving right now. In the age of grift, he'd be thriving. 100K Bitcoin, a lot of alts are up. He'd have been fine. And instead, he's in jail. It's crazy how little bit can... Bum, bada, bum, bum. Oh, God. I'm reading Chamath's ideas about what we could invest the sovereign wealth fund in. Fucking Bitcoin talk. He spelled TikTok wrong. Bitcoin talk. Private equity. VC. Just fucking punt our taxpayer money on the stupidest fucking... Chamath is one of the scammiest, dumbest people I've ever seen on the internet. Did Squeaks get the record in shawarma fucking prints? Did Squeaks get the world record? My goat. That's my fucking speedrunner of the year. That's my fucking goat, dude. He's a shawarma legend. Will you be taking it from him? Absolutely not. That game looked miserable. I watched that for 45 seconds and I wanted to... That didn't look fun at all. It was just clicking. It just click. It's like a bad mobile game. But he has... That's why he's speedrunner of the year. Because he sees past that. He sees the fucking code. He sees the fucking record in sight. Oh, I am going to do... Stan's challenged me. I think he wants it for a video, but I want to do it no matter what. Stan's challenged me to the Dailies world record. It's like a list of fucking 15 daily games. You have to do them all in a row with a live split timer. I'm absolutely going to do that. I'll do it tomorrow, 100%. His record's an hour or 53 minutes. I'm going to beat it. No problem. I'm going to beat it. There's no problem. I will fucking... It's 22? Wait, he must have crushed it. It used to be 50. Who got 22? Stans? Staniel Herbert got 22 minutes on... Oh, God. All right, well, I'll get a 21. No problem. I'll get a 19. The Atrioc 19, bitch. It's no problem. It's no difficulty. So I'll do that tomorrow. Is there anything else I wanted to do today? Did a little targeting Tuesday. Let me check. Talked about... Dude, you know Seawat Gaming from Minecraft Parkour Civilization? He messaged me again and said, so on the day Lena Khan quit, got fired, her last day. And he said, sorry about Lena Khan, bro. Next time, be careful what you say about parkour. Our power runs deep. And then he said, I'm keeping an eye on you in the future. Those tariffs could always go up. So I'm going to be careful with what I say about Minecraft parkour. I don't want to affect global trade. You can't say he didn't warn me. You know, he gave me the fucking CoffeeZilla just messaged me, year of crime. Oh, God. He linked me this. The SEC has just cut its crypto enforcement efforts, reassigning 50 lawyers working on cryptocurrency cases. I thought it was the year of kindness, the year of crime. We're not going to stop any scammers. This is what I'm talking about, dude. This is my whole theme for why I think people are just getting, I don't know, uncomfortable. Is just this lack of consequence for anything. There's no consequences. There's not. I think that just makes people choose to be like, why am I caring about the rules? Why do I, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why bother? Why act in a right way if there's no consequences? Anyway, chat, I'm going to end here. I'm a little tired. I worked all day on that presentation, and I'm hungry. I'm very hungry. So I'm going to fucking cut it, and I'll be back. The truck of eggs crashed in L.A.? Dude, at L.A. egg prices, that's funny. They already made that joke. Well, I was going to make a joke, but then someone said that's $5 billion right there. Yeah, dude. It's fucking crazy. It's like $9.12 for a dozen eggs. All right, chat. Good night, good luck, Godspeed. Thanks for watching. Let's raid somebody. Let's pass the love along. Let's raid. I'm not kidding. Possibly Coney? The GOAT Coney? Bro, let's raid Coney, dude. Coney's fucking funny. He's always doing something creative and clever on stream. He's a warlord who uses child soldiers to take control in 2012. He has a lot of interesting history. So talk about Coney, learn about more on him, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!